Dear learners, welcome back to a new lesson. Today I am going to discuss important grammar topic, that is verb, and the main two verbs, that is finite and non-finite. Okay, I am going to tell you in details about finite and non-finite, their details in example also. Okay, so first I am going to tell you what is called finite verb. A finite verb is a verb. Try to understand what I am saying. A finite verb is a verb that changes according to the subject, number, person. What did I say? According to the subject, number, person. Finite verb is a verb that changes according to the subject, number, and person. Okay, and depending on which we can recognize tense. Depending on which we can recognize tense, it's called finite verb. Okay, like I am going to tell you one more time. Try to understand that. What did I say? A finite verb is a verb. A finite verb is a verb that changes according to the subject, number, and person, and depending on which we can recognize tense, which means depending on a finite verb we can recognize tense, we can find out tense. Can you understand what did I say? And non-finite verbs are unlike finite verbs, like you can say opposite. Okay, like a non-finite verb is a verb that doesn't change its meaning. Like a non-finite verb doesn't change its meaning, and depending on which we cannot recognize tense, which means depending on a non-finite verb we can never find out or recognize tense. Can you understand what did I say? Which means non-finite verb doesn't change its meaning, and finite verb change its meaning according to the subject, number, and person, and depending on a finite verb we can recognize tense. Hope all of you have got clear idea. I am going to give you some example so that you can get more clear idea. Okay, keep fine and stay with me. So here, as I told you, a finite verb is a verb that changes is a verb that changes. Okay, we need to add s here, change according to the subject, number, and person, and depending on which means depending on finite verb we can recognized, or you can say recognize tense. Can you understand what did I say? We can recognize tense. Okay, non-finite verbs are unlike finite verb. Unlike, which means not like a finite verb, it's opposite of finite verb. Okay, so non-finite verbs are three kinds. What did I say? Non-finite verbs are three kinds. They are infinitive, participle, and gerund. Non-finite verbs are three kinds. They are infinitive, participle, and gerund. Okay, so again, participles are three kinds. Participles are three kinds: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Now I am going to tell you details about the forms of non-finite verbs and like they are used in a sentence. Okay, try to understand. So as I told you that non-finite verbs are three kinds: infinitive, gerund, and participle. So what is the form of infinitive? Okay, that is the name of topic, but it has like a own form. Okay, so what is so important? Like we need to know the form. That is so important for us. Like infinitives, the form of infinitives: to plus base form of verb, b1, which means the base form of verb. First to to, and then the base form of verb, that is the form of infinitives. And then gerund form is verb plus ing. Verb takes ing at the end of the verb and it's become gerund whenever it's act as a subject. It acts as a subject and its function is noun. I am going to give you like details later. First try to understand what I am saying. Infinitive, which means to plus verb. Okay, so in my example, try to understand. I want to learn English. What did I say? I want to learn English. Try to understand. So here there are two verbs, want and learn. Okay, want and learn which means to learn, infinitives. So here want is the finite verb. The reason because it changes its meaning. If I change the subject he, okay, instead of I, if I put here he, then you have to say that he wants to learn English, which means want change its meaning, but to learn never change its meaning. It remains the same. It remains the same. Can you understand? I want to learn English. Okay. Now gerund. Okay. Gerund, verb plus ing. Like verb takes ing, but it acts as a noun in a sentence. Whenever verb takes ing and it acts as a noun, in a sentence, that's called gerund. Can you understand? So I am going to tell you read and ing. Okay, by taking ing, reads become a noun here and it's a subject. Its function here as a subject. So read is a good habit. Here read is a gerund. The reason because it's a subject and it acts as a noun. Can you understand what did I say? So we all know that before a verb, okay, before a verb, if there is a single word, or after a verb, if there is a single word, it's always noun. It is always noun. Okay. Hope all of you have got clear idea. Now I am going to tell you about the participle. Participle, which means participle, its act as a its function. All the participle its function as an adjective. Function as an adjective. Like gerund function as a noun. What did I say? It acts as a noun, or its function it's become noun. Okay, and participle it's act as an adjective. It becomes adjective after taking after changing its form. Okay, like present participle form verb plus ing, which means the gerund form and the present participle form full form are the same. So how to identify you which one is gerund and which one is participle? Okay, try to understand that. Here after taking ing, it works as an adjective. And here after taking ing, it works as a noun. It's work as a noun. So after taking ing, if a verb taking ing, it works as a noun, it will be gerund, and if it works as an adjective, it will be participle and present participle. Hope all of you have got clear idea. Okay. The second one, past participle. Past participle, which means the third form of verb. We all know about past participle. Past participle, which means third form of verb. It's also work as an adjective. Try to understand that. The broken glass is on the floor. What kind of glass? The type of glass. It's broken. The type. What type of glass? It's broken glass. It's not like a complete glass. It's broken glass. Okay, so broken here participle, and it's past participle. Which type of participle? Past participle. Hope all of you have got clear idea. After that, I am going to tell you perfect participle, the third one. Perfect participle, which means having plus B3. First you have to put having, then you need to put the third form of verb. It will become perfect participle. I am going to give you an example having done the work, I went to market. Having done the work, I went to play. Can you understand? Okay. And now I am going to give you some example about finite verbs. This is very easy. Like in my example, I have written that she writes a letter. What did I say? She writes a letter. Here, write is the main verb and the subject third person singular number. That's why the write took s here. Can you understand? It changed its meaning according to the subject. Now try to understand. They played football, which means here main verb is play. Play play taking ed, it's become past form. They played football, which means it's indicate that this is the past tense and this is the present tense. So depending on that, we can recognize tense. Try to understand. He liked he likes mangoes. If I put here, instead of he, if I put here I, okay, then I have to say that I like mangoes. Okay, we like mangoes. So according to the subject number person, like a finite verb change its meaning, and depending on that we can recognize tense. Okay, now I am going to give you 4 example here where you can get a clear idea about finite and non-finite. What are the differences between finite and non-finite? Try to understand that. I have been reading. How many verbs are there in that sentence? Can you guess? I have been reading. There are 3 verbs here. Have been reading. Here also has been reading. Here also have been reading. Here also had been reading. Try to understand that there are 3 verbs in each and every sentence. After that also, like only single verb, it changes its meaning, but rest of 2 verbs, they don't change their meaning. Try to understand that. I have been reading. Been same. Been reading is same in each and every sentence, but what is changing always, that is have, has, have, had. This is changing. So, and depending on that, I can say that I have been reading, which means present perfect. She has been reading, which means present perfect. They have been reading, which means present perfect. He had been reading, which means past perfect. Try to understand that. So been reading are the same. So depending on these one only, we can recognize tense, and it's changing like its form according to the subject number person. Hope all of you got clear idea. So have is the finite verb and here been and reading are the non-finite verbs. The reason because they are not changing their meaning. Okay, they remain same. They remain same all the time. Hope all of you have got clear idea. If you have any queries, let me know. Okay, you can comments me. And this brings me at the end of the lesson. I will be back with a new lesson. Till then, take care. Have a great day and bye.